In life, we often get caught up in so many things. Our jobs, our responsibilities, the endless tasks that never seem to stop. But what if I told you that the secret to success isn't about doing more, but about doing less of what doesn't matter and focusing more on what truly counts? We all have dreams, but too often we let distractions, doubts, and the opinions of others pull us off course. The real power lies in focusing on what truly matters. Today, I'm going to show you exactly how you can cut through the noise and put your energy into what will actually move you forward. We'll dive into how to reflect on where you've been, adjust what's not working, and keep pushing towards your goals no matter what. This isn't just about time management or productivity. It's about transforming your mindset and your life. Stay with me, because if you want to stop spinning your wheels and start seeing real progress, you're in the right place. Let's get started. Get clear on what you truly want. If you don't know exactly what you want, how do you expect to get it? That's the first thing I tell people when they come to me and say, Jim, I just don't know why I'm not making progress. And I ask them one simple question. What do you truly want? Not what your parents want, not what society expects, not what your friends think is good for you. What you want. And you'd be surprised how many people can't answer that question. They hesitate. They say, well, I want success or I want to be happy, but they don't define it. And let me tell you something. If you don't define what you want, life will define it for you. And most of the time, you won't like the results. You see, clarity is power. If you wake up every day with no clear direction, you're going to waste a lot of time and energy doing things that don't serve you. Imagine getting in your car with no destination in mind. You just start driving. You might enjoy the ride for a while, but sooner or later, you'll realize you're lost, and life works the same way. If you don't set your own direction, you'll end up wherever the wind takes you. And trust me, that's not how you build a successful life. Now, some people tell me, Jim, I don't know what I want because I've never really thought about it. And that's okay. But starting today, that has to change. I want you to take some time, sit down and ask yourself, what do I truly want? If you had no fear, no doubts, no worries, what would you go after? And here's the key. Be specific. Saying I want to be successful is too vague. Success means different things to different people. Do you want financial freedom? Do you want a healthy, strong body? Do you want deep, meaningful relationships? What exactly does success look like for you? The more specific you are, the easier it will be to focus on what truly matters. Once you're clear on what you want, the next step is just as important. Why do you want it? Because if your reason isn't strong enough, you'll give up the moment things get hard. And let me tell you, things will get hard. Life will test you. It will throw obstacles in your way. And if your why isn't strong enough, you'll quit. So ask yourself, why do I want this? If it's financial success, is it because you want to provide for your family? Is it because you want freedom? If it's health, is it because you want to live longer and be there for your kids? If it's personal growth, is it because you want to become the best version of yourself? Your why is the fuel that keeps you going when motivation fades. And here's where most people go wrong. They say they want something, but their actions don't match their words. They say, I want to be financially free, but they spend all their money on things they don't need. They say, I want to be healthy, but they skip workouts and eat junk food. If you truly want something, your actions need to align with your goals. Otherwise, you're just fooling yourself. Now let's talk about another mistake people make. Chasing too many things at once. You can't go after everything at the same time. If you try to chase 5 rabbits, you won't catch any. This is why clarity is so important. Pick 1 or 2 major goals and give them your full focus. If you're trying to start a business, don't get distracted by 10 different side projects. If you want to get in shape, don't try every new workout program out there. Stick to one and commit to it. Once you've decided what you want, here's something I want you to do. Write it down. Not in your phone, not in your head. Physically write it down. There's something powerful about putting your goals on paper. It makes them real. It gives them weight. And once you've written them down, read them every single day. Remind yourself of what you're working toward. Because life is full of distractions. And if you're not careful, you'll lose sight of what truly matters. And here's one more thing to keep in mind. Your goals will evolve. What you want today might change in 5 years, and that's okay. But the habit of getting clear on what you want and focusing on it will never change. That's a lifelong practice. Every so often, sit down and ask yourself, am I still on the right path? Is this still what I truly want? Because the last thing you want is to spend years chasing something, only to realize it wasn't what you really wanted in the first place. So let's sum it up. If you want to truly focus on what matters, start by getting clear on what you want. Define it. Be specific. Know why you want it. Align your actions with your goals. Avoid chasing too many things at once. Write it down. Read it every day. And don't be afraid to adjust as you grow. If you do this, you'll stop drifting through life and start moving toward exactly where you want to be. And remember this, you have one life. Don't waste it living by someone else's plan. Get clear, get focused, and make it happen. The silent cost of distractions. Have you ever felt like no matter how hard you work, you're always falling behind, like you're busy all day, but at the end of it, you have nothing to show for your efforts? You wake up, check your phone, respond to messages, scroll through social media, answer emails, deal with one thing after another, and suddenly the whole day is gone. You go to bed feeling exhausted, but deep down you know you didn't make any real progress toward your goals. That's the silent cost of distractions. They don't just take up your time, they rob you of your future. They keep you from building the life you want, because they take you away from what truly matters. And here's the problem. Most people don't even realize it's happening. They don't recognize that every small distraction is pulling them away from their potential. You see, distractions are sneaky. They don't show up and say, hey, I'm here to ruin your focus. No, they disguise themselves as small, harmless things. A quick look at your phone turns into an hour. A 5-minute break turns into mindless scrolling. One notification leads to another. And before you know it, you've spent half your day reacting to things that have nothing to do with your goals. And that's how distractions control people. Not by taking away their entire day at once, but by stealing their focus in tiny pieces, until there's nothing left. Now let's be clear about something. The world we live in today is designed to keep you distracted. Companies spend billions of dollars figuring out how to keep your attention on their platforms. They know exactly how to trigger your brain, how to make you keep checking your phone, how to keep you clicking, scrolling, watching. And the more distracted you are, the less time you have to focus on yourself. The less time you have to work on your goals. The less energy you have for what really matters. And this is why most people never reach their full potential. It's not because they aren't smart. It's not because they aren't talented. It's because they're constantly being pulled in 100 different directions. They're always reacting instead of creating, always consuming instead of building, always busy but never productive. Let me tell you something important. If you don't take control of your focus, someone else will. If you don't set boundaries, distractions will set them for you. And if you don't make a conscious decision to eliminate the things that don't serve you, you'll spend your entire life wondering why success seems out of reach. So how do you stop it? How do you take back control? First, you have to recognize the distractions in your life. And I mean really see them for what they are. Because most people don't. They think checking social media for a few minutes isn't a big deal. They think responding to every message instantly is being responsible. They think being available 24/7 is a good thing. But here's the truth. Every moment you spend on something that doesn't move you closer to your goals is a moment you'll never get back. Take a step back and look at where your time is really going. Be honest with yourself. Are you spending hours every day consuming content instead of creating? Are you checking your phone first thing in the morning, letting other people's priorities set the tone for your day? Are you allowing distractions to dictate your schedule instead of focusing on what's truly important? Once you recognize the problem, the next step is to create systems that protect your focus. That means setting boundaries. That means deciding when and where you check your phone instead of letting it control you. That means turning off notifications that don't matter. That means creating time blocks where you work without interruptions. And most importantly, that means learning to say no. Because here's the reality. Not everything deserves your attention. Not every message needs an immediate response. Not every notification is important. And if you keep treating everything as urgent, you'll never have time for what's truly meaningful. Think about this. Every highly successful person has one thing in common. They know how to protect their focus. They don't allow themselves to be pulled into every little thing. They don't waste their energy on things that don't align with their vision. They guard their time like it's the most valuable resource they have, because it is. And if you want to reach your highest potential, you have to do the same. You have to be ruthless about what gets your attention. You have to eliminate distractions before they eliminate your dreams. You have to take full responsibility for where your focus goes, because no one else will do it for you. Here's something I want you to think about. Imagine your future self 5 years from now. Picture the person you want to become, the success you want to have, the lifestyle you want to live. Now ask yourself this: will that version of you allow distractions to steal their time? Will they spend hours every day on things that don't matter? Will they let small, meaningless interruptions keep them from their purpose? The answer is no. So why let those distractions control you today? Why let them slow you down when you could be moving forward? Why waste time on things that won't matter a year from now, when you could be building the future you want? Now is the time to take control. Now is the time to cut out the noise. Now is the time to focus on what really matters. Because every moment you let distractions win, you lose another opportunity to create the life you deserve. And if you don't control your focus, you'll spend your life watching other people succeed while you stay stuck. But if you take back your focus, if you eliminate distractions, set boundaries, and commit to protecting your time, everything changes. You start making real progress. You start building momentum. You start creating results instead of just talking about them. And that's when you realize that success isn't about working hard. It's about working smarter. It's about focusing on what truly matters and refusing to let anything get in the way. So starting today, make a decision to stop letting distractions control you, a decision to guard your time like it's the most valuable thing you have, a decision to focus on what truly matters. Because the moment you do that, everything else will start falling into place. Why most people stay stuck in the wrong things. Have you ever wondered why some people stay stuck in the same place for years while others seem to move forward effortlessly? Why do some people work hard, put in the effort, and still see no real progress? It's not because they're not trying. It's not because they don't want success. It's because they're focusing on the wrong things. Most people don't even realize it, but they spend their entire lives chasing things that don't actually move them forward. They work hard on things that don't truly matter. They put their energy into things that don't bring real results. And before they know it, years have passed and they're still in the same place, wondering why nothing has changed. This is the trap that keeps people stuck. It's not that they're lazy. It's not that they don't have potential. It's that their focus is in the wrong place. They waste time on things that feel important, but don't actually create progress. They get caught up in things that look like work, but don't lead to real success. Think about this for a second. How many times have you seen someone who is always busy but never really achieving anything? They're always running around, always doing something, but when you look at their life a year,
Nothing has really changed. That's because being busy is not the same as being productive. And most people confuse the two. They spend hours answering emails, checking notifications, scrolling through social media, jumping from one thing to another, thinking they're making progress. But at the end of the day, they have nothing real to show for it. They mistake activity for achievement, and that's exactly why they stay stuck. You see, success is not about how much effort you put in. It's about putting effort into the right things. It's about focusing on what actually moves the needle. It's about working on the things that bring real results. And the truth is, most people don't do that. They stay distracted by things that don't matter. They put their energy into things that don't create real progress. And that's why they never break through. If you want to change that, you have to start asking yourself a different question. Instead of asking, "Am I working hard?" ask, "Am I working on the right things?" Because no matter how hard you work, if you're focused on the wrong things, you'll never get the results you want. So what are the wrong things? What are the things that keep most people stuck? For starters, chasing validation. Too many people spend their lives trying to impress others. They do things not because they truly want to, but because they want approval. They want people to think they're successful. They want to be liked. But here's the problem. When you live for other people's opinions,
You lose sight of your own vision. You waste time doing things that don't matter, just to gain approval that won't last. And in the end, you're left feeling empty. Another big one, focusing on short-term pleasure instead of long-term success.
Most people want instant gratification. They want results now. They want success without the process. And because of that, they keep choosing what's easy instead of what's necessary. They choose comfort over growth. They choose distractions over discipline. They choose what feels good now instead of what will create real results in the future. And that's why they stay stuck. You have to understand something. Success is not about doing what's easy. It's about doing what's necessary. It's about making the hard choices today so you can live the life you want tomorrow. But if you keep chasing things that feel good in the moment, you'll never build the future you truly want. Another reason most people stay stuck is because they focus on things they can't control instead of what they can. They waste time worrying about things that are out of their hands. They stress over what other people think. They get frustrated about things they have no power over. And because of that, they never put their full energy into the things that actually matter. If you want to break free, you have to shift your focus. You have to stop wasting energy on things you can't change and start putting everything you've got into what you can control. You can control your habits. You can control your discipline. You can control what you focus on every single day. And if you put all your energy into that, everything will start to change. But most people never do this. They stay distracted. They stay caught up in things that don't matter. They spend years chasing things that don't actually bring real success. And then they wonder why they're still in the same place. So what's the solution? The solution is to get brutally honest with yourself. Ask yourself, are you focusing on the right things? Are you putting your time and energy into what actually moves you forward? Are you working on the things that create real results? Or are you just staying busy with things that don't matter? Because at the end of the day, your future is being built by the things you choose to focus on right now. Every decision you make today is shaping where you'll be a year from now. And if you keep spending your time on the wrong things, you'll keep getting the wrong results. But the good news is, you can change it. You can decide right now to shift your focus. You can start cutting out the things that don't serve. You can stop wasting time on things that don't create progress. You can start putting all your energy into what truly matters. And when you do that, everything changes. Because here's the truth. Your potential is limitless. Your ability to succeed is not in question. The only thing that matters is where you put your focus. And if you put it in the right place, there's nothing you can't achieve. But if you don't, you'll stay stuck like everyone else. So ask yourself, what are you really working on? What are you really putting your time into? What are you focusing on every single day? Because if you don't take control of that, nothing else will change. Success is not about effort alone. It's about effort in the right direction. It's about eliminating the things that don't matter, so you can give everything you've got to what does. And the moment you do that, your entire life will start to transform. The power of saying no without guilt. Most people struggle to focus on what truly matters because they're afraid to say no. They take on too many commitments, agree to things they don't want to do, and feel guilty if they don't please everyone around them. And what happens? They end up exhausted, overwhelmed, and stuck in a life that doesn't even feel like their own. You see, saying no is one of the most powerful skills you can develop. It's the key to protecting your time, your energy, and your future. But most people don't realize this. They think saying no makes them selfish or unkind. They worry about disappointing others. They don't want to feel like they're letting people down. And because of that, they end up putting themselves last. But let me tell you something. If you don't take control of your life, someone else will. If you don't decide where your time goes, it will get taken from you. If you don't set boundaries, people will walk all over them. And one day you'll wake up wondering why you never had time to build the life you wanted. The truth is, every time you say yes to something unimportant, you are saying no to something important. Every time you agree to something that drains your energy, you have less energy for what truly matters. Every time you prioritize someone else's needs over your own dreams, you push your future further away. And that's how people get stuck. Not because they don't have potential, not because they don't work hard, but because they're too busy pleasing others to focus on their own path. Now I get it. Saying no can be uncomfortable. It can feel awkward. It can feel like you're disappointing people. But you have to understand something. The most successful people in the world are not the ones who say yes to everything. They are the ones who have learned to say no without guilt. They are the ones who have learned to protect their time, their energy, and their focus. Think about it. You only have so many hours in a day, so much energy to give, so much focus to use. And if you waste it on things that don't matter, you won't have anything left for the things that do. That's why you have to be intentional. You have to be clear about what you say yes to and ruthless about what you say no to. A lot of people believe that success is about working harder. They think it's about doing more, taking on more, pushing themselves more. But in reality, success is just as much about what you don't do as it is about what you do. It's about removing distractions. It's about cutting out what doesn't serve you. It's about having the courage to say, "This is not for me," and walking away. Because here's what happens when you stop saying yes to everything. You get your time back. You get your energy back. You get your clarity back. Suddenly you have space to focus on the things that actually matter. Suddenly you have time to work on your goals, improve yourself, and build the life you want. And that's when things start to change. But if you don't learn to say no, you will always feel like you're drowning. You will always feel like you don't have enough time. You will always feel like you're running in circles, exhausted but never really making progress. And that is not how you want to live. Now some people might ask, but what if I disappoint others? Let me tell you something. Disappointing yourself is far worse than disappointing someone else. Wasting your potential is far worse than saying no to something that doesn't serve you. Because at the end of the day, you are the one who has to live with your choices. You are the one who has to wake up every morning knowing whether you're on the right path or not. And here's the thing. The people who truly care about you will respect your boundaries. They will understand when you say no. They will support you in protecting your time and energy. And the ones who don't, they were never really in your corner to begin with. So if you've been saying yes to too many things, it's time to stop. It's time to start protecting your focus. It's time to stop letting other people's demands dictate your life. It's time to take back control. Start small. The next time someone asks you to do something that doesn't align with your goals, take a deep breath and say no. You don't need to over-explain. You don't need to apologize. Just say no and see how it feels. Because the moment you start setting boundaries, everything changes. You gain control over your time. You gain control over your energy. You gain control over your future. And that's when you finally start moving toward the life you were meant to live. How to protect your energy from the wrong people. Are they helping me grow, or are they draining my energy? Because whether you realize it or not, the people you surround yourself with are shaping your future. They are either pushing you forward or holding you back. And if you're not careful, you'll spend years stuck in the same place, simply because you let the wrong people take up space in your life. Look around. How many people in your life truly support your growth? How many of them encourage you to be better? How many of them celebrate your success instead of feeling threatened by it? The truth is, not everyone who is close to you has your best interests at heart. Some people are only around because they benefit from your time, your energy, or your kindness. But when it's time for them to give back, they're nowhere to be found. These are the people you have to be careful of. These are the people who will drain you, distract you, and keep you from becoming the person you're meant to be. If you've ever felt exhausted just by being around certain people, pay attention to that feeling. Your energy is one of the most valuable things you have, and you can't afford to waste it on people who don't add value to your life. Some people constantly complain, constantly gossip, constantly bring negativity into every conversation. And if you're not careful, that energy will start to affect you. You might think you're just listening, just being polite, but over time, their negativity becomes yours. This is why you have to be intentional about who you allow into your space, because your time and energy are limited, and you can't afford to give them away to people who don't respect them. If someone is always draining you, always bringing drama into your life, always making you feel small, you have to ask yourself, why are they still in my life? What am I getting out of this relationship? And if the answer is nothing, then you already know what you have to do. Now I know this isn't easy. Letting go of people, especially those you've known for a long time, is one of the hardest things to do. But you have to make a choice. Do you want to stay comfortable and keep everyone happy? Or do you want to grow and become the person you're meant to be? Because you can't have both. Growth requires sacrifice. And sometimes that sacrifice is letting go of people who no longer align with your vision. It's not about cutting people off for no reason. It's about setting boundaries. It's about protecting your peace. It's about making sure that the people around you are adding to your life, not taking from it. Because the truth is, the people you surround yourself with will determine where you end up. If you're always around people who settle for less, you'll start settling too. If you're always around people who blame the world for their problems, you'll start doing the same. But if you're around people who push themselves, who aim higher, who take responsibility for their lives, then that energy will push you to do the same. Think about the most successful people you know. Do they spend time around negative, draining, toxic people? No, they're intentional about their circle. They surround themselves with people who challenge them, who inspire them, who bring out the best in them. Because they know that the people you spend time with shape your habits, your mindset, and ultimately your future. So take a moment to reflect. Who are you giving your time and energy to? Who do you allow to influence your thoughts, your decisions, your mindset? And are those people helping you become better, or are they holding you back? If you're serious about success, about becoming the best version of yourself, you have to be willing to distance yourself from those who drain your energy. Now, this doesn't mean you have to be rude. It doesn't mean you have to make a dramatic exit from their lives. Sometimes, all it takes is a gradual shift. Spend less time with the wrong people and more time with the right ones. Protect your energy, protect your focus, and watch how your life starts to change. The moment you start being intentional about who you allow into your life, everything shifts. You'll feel lighter, you'll feel more motivated. You'll find yourself surrounded by people who uplift you instead of draining you. And that's when you'll realize that protecting your energy isn't selfish, it's necessary. Because if you don't take control of who gets access to you, you'll find yourself giving away your best energy to people who don't deserve it. This is your life, your time, your energy. Choose wisely. Stop trying to do everything at once. Most people are overwhelmed, not because they have too much to do, but because they try to do everything at once. They think that success comes from doing more, from constantly chasing one thing after another, from always being busy. But let me tell you something. Being busy and being productive are not the same thing. If you spread yourself too thin, if you try to handle everything at the same time, you end up getting nowhere. You lose focus, you lose energy, and eventually you burn out. And when that happens, you're not just exhausted, you're frustrated, stuck, and wondering why nothing is working. Think about it. How many times have you started something, then halfway through you jump to something else? You get excited about a new idea, but before you can finish, you're distracted by another opportunity. And the cycle continues. At the end of the day, you feel like you've been working hard, but when you look at your results, you realize you haven't actually made real progress. That's because you're dividing your energy into too many directions, instead of focusing on one thing at a time and seeing it through. The truth is, you can't do everything at once. You have to decide what's most important. You have to commit to one thing, give it your full attention, and push it forward until it's done. If you don't, you'll always be in a loop of unfinished tasks, wasted energy, and lost momentum. Now let me make one thing clear. I'm not saying you can only do one thing in life. You can have multiple goals, multiple dreams, multiple ambitions, but the key to achieving them is learning how to prioritize. You can't chase 5 different things at the same time and expect to excel in all of them. You have to focus on one, get it to a level of success, and then move to the next. That's how real progress is made. Look at the most successful people in any field. They didn't succeed by multitasking 100 different things.
They succeeded because they focused. They mastered one thing before moving on to the next. They learned how to control their time, their energy, and their efforts, so they weren't scattered in every direction. And that's exactly what you need to do. So what's stopping you? Maybe you feel like everything is important. Maybe you think that if you don't do everything now, you'll miss out. That's just fear talking. Fear of missing out. Fear of making the wrong choice. Fear of commitment. But let me tell you something. The biggest mistake you can make is trying to do it all and ending up doing nothing well. If you want real results, you have to let go of the idea that you can handle everything at the same time. You have to discipline yourself to focus on what truly matters. Start by identifying the most important thing in your life right now. What's the one thing that if you gave it your full attention, would create the biggest impact? What's the one goal that if you accomplished it, would make everything else easier? Once you identify that, make it your priority. Put your energy into it. Commit to it fully, and don't let distractions pull you away. This isn't easy. It takes discipline. It takes saying no to things that don't align with your main focus. It takes pushing through the urge to jump to something new just because it looks exciting. But if you can master this, if you can train yourself to focus on one thing at a time, you'll accomplish more in a few months than most people do in years.
You have to stop treating everything as urgent. Not everything deserves your attention right now. Not every opportunity is worth chasing. Not every request from others needs to be answered immediately. If you're constantly reacting to everything, you're not in control, you're just running in circles. But when you choose what matters most and dedicate yourself to it, you take control of your life. You start making progress, real progress, and you build the momentum that leads to success. So ask yourself, what's really important? What's the one thing that if you focused on it completely, would change everything? And once you have the answer, commit to it. Block out the distractions. Stop trying to do everything at once. Give your full energy to what matters. Because success doesn't come from doing more, it comes from doing what matters most and doing it well. Your time is the most valuable currency. Time is the one resource we all have in equal measure. Every single day we get 24 hours. And how we use those hours can be the difference between a life full of regret or a life full of accomplishment and fulfillment. Think about that for a moment. When you really break it down, time is the most valuable currency you possess. It's the one thing you can never get back. Once a minute passes, it's gone forever. Once a day slips away, you can't retrieve it. And yet, so many of us take time for granted. We let it slip through our fingers, wasting it on things that don't matter, on things that don't move us closer to our goals. Now, this isn't to make you feel bad or guilty about how you've used your time. We all make mistakes. We all waste time at some point. But here's the key to unlocking your true potential. You have the power to take control of your time. You can decide how you spend it. You can choose to focus on what matters most. And when you do that, everything changes. We live in a world where distractions are everywhere. The noise, the constant pull of social media, the demands of others, the endless streams of content that fight for our attention. It's so easy to get caught up in all of it. But let me tell you something. If you want to be successful, if you want to live a life of meaning and purpose, you have to stop treating time like it's infinite. Time is not a renewable resource. You can't just say, I'll catch up later. That later doesn't always come. What you do today matters. And what you do today is what will determine what your tomorrow looks like. So here's what you need to do. Start thinking of time as your most precious asset. The way you spend it, the way you invest it, is what will shape your future. It's easy to get distracted by the little things. Checking emails, scrolling through social media, having meaningless conversations. But none of that moves you forward. None of that brings you closer to your dreams. It's all just noise. And that noise will continue to pull at you if you let it. But if you make a decision to guard your time, if you make a commitment to protect it like it's your most valuable possession, you'll see your life change. You'll see your results improve. You'll start making progress in ways you never thought possible. Think about your daily routine. What are you doing with your time? What are you spending it on? Is it moving you closer to your goals? Or is it just filling the hours without purpose? Are you allowing yourself to get lost in things that don't matter? Things that don't add value to your life? And I get it. Life is full of demands. You've got responsibilities. You've got to make a living. You've got people who need your attention. But if you don't intentionally carve out time for what matters, for what's truly important to you, you're going to find yourself caught in the trap of busy work. You'll look up one day and realize you've spent years running in circles without really getting anywhere. I'm not saying you have to quit everything or drop all your commitments. What I'm saying is that you need to prioritize. You need to make your time count. You need to look at the things that matter most to you, the things that are aligned with your goals and your purpose, and you need to give those things your time and your energy. The rest of it, the distractions, the things that don't serve you, those need to be minimized. You can't afford to spend your precious time on things that don't help you grow. That's just the truth. Now, this isn't about working 24/7s. It's not about burning yourself out. It's about being intentional with how you use your time. It's about being mindful of where your energy goes. When you focus on what matters, when you invest your time in the things that bring you closer to your dreams, you'll be amazed at how much you can accomplish. But that requires discipline. It requires you to make decisions and to be clear about what your priorities are. It requires you to be okay with saying no to things that aren't helping you get where you want to go. It requires you to put in the effort, day in and day out, to make your time count. The good news is that you can start right now. You don't need to wait for a new year or a new month to make a change. You can make the decision today. You can decide to stop letting time slip away and instead start using it wisely. Start by looking at how you spend your hours. What are you giving your time to? Is it helping you grow? Is it getting you closer to your goals? If not, it's time to make a shift. Start carving out time for the things that truly matter. Start protecting your time like the precious resource that it is. If you want a life of meaning, if you want to live a life where you achieve your goals and build the life you've always dreamed of, then you have to take control of your time. You have to be intentional about how you spend it. Because the truth is, time waits for no one. The clock is always ticking. And the question is, how will you choose to spend your time today? Turn small daily actions into big life changes. The truth about focus is that it's everything. Every result you want in life is directly tied to where your focus goes. Let me say that again. Your energy and your time will follow whatever it is you focus on. If you focus on your goals, your energy will start to align with that. If you focus on distractions, your time and energy will go into those things. And the crazy thing is, many of us don't even realize where our focus is going. We are pulled in 100 different directions every single day. We've got so many things fighting for our attention. And in the midst of all that noise, it's easy to forget that our focus is one of the most powerful tools we have. Let's break it down. The simple truth is that everything in life is influenced by where you direct your attention. Your results are a reflection of your focus. So if you're not getting the results you want, it's time to ask yourself, where am I putting my energy? It's easy to get distracted by things that seem urgent, but aren't important. Maybe it's that email that just popped up. Maybe it's a news article that catches your eye. Maybe it's a phone call or a notification. And before you know it, you've spent the last hour reacting to all these small things. And what have you really accomplished? Very little. When you focus on what matters, everything changes. Your mind clears, your actions become intentional, and your results improve. But the problem is that many people don't know how to direct their focus. They're pulled in every direction by the demands of life, the noise of society, and the constant distractions that surround them. And when that happens, they end up feeling drained, overwhelmed, and stuck. It's no wonder people struggle to reach their full potential. If you're focused on too many things, you're not focused on anything at all. And that's a dangerous place to be. Here's the thing. Focus is a skill. It's something you have to practice. And it's something you can get better at over time. Just like any other skill, you have to make a conscious effort to develop it. The best way to do that is by eliminating distractions and narrowing your focus to the things that truly matter. This isn't about trying to do everything. It's about doing the right things and doing them with purpose and intention. Imagine waking up every day with a clear vision of what you want to accomplish. Imagine knowing exactly where you need to put your energy. How would your life change if you could wake up, get to work, and know without a doubt that your focus was 100% on the things that will move you forward? It's possible. In fact, it's not just possible, it's essential. But it starts with making a decision. You have to decide to focus on what really matters. You have to decide to stop letting distractions pull you in every direction. And that decision is the first step toward a life of purpose, progress, and success. When you make that decision, you'll start to notice something amazing. Your time starts to open up, your energy starts to shift, and you'll begin to see results that you never thought possible. One of the biggest traps people fall into is chasing after too many things at once. We live in a world that celebrates multitasking. We're constantly told to juggle multiple responsibilities. But the truth is, multitasking is a lie. It doesn't work. Your brain isn't designed to focus on more than one thing at a time. The idea that you can do everything at once is a myth. All you're doing is spreading your attention too thin. And when that happens, nothing gets the focus it truly needs. But when you focus on just one thing, just one task, one goal, everything changes. You begin to give your full attention to the task at hand, and your efforts become more effective. When you focus, you make progress. When you focus, you eliminate the noise. When you focus, you start to feel a sense of accomplishment. That's the power of focus. It's about going all in on what matters. It's about pouring your energy into the things that move you closer to your dreams. Now, it's important to note that focus doesn't mean you have to work harder. In fact, focusing on what matters means working smarter. It's about being strategic with your time and energy. It's about knowing when to say no and when to say yes. It's about cutting out the things that drain you and focusing on the things that energize you. The more you focus on what matters, the more you can let go of what doesn't. Take a moment to reflect. Where is your focus right now? Is it on your goals? Is it on the things that will help you grow? Or is it scattered across a million different distractions? If it's scattered, it's time to refocus. It's time to take control of your energy and direct it toward the things that will bring you closer to your success. When you start focusing on what truly matters, your life will shift in ways you never imagined. You'll start accomplishing things that once felt impossible. You'll start feeling more fulfilled, more confident, and more in control of your life. That's the power of focus. When you choose where to direct your energy, you choose the life you want to create. And that, my friend, is one of the most powerful decisions you can make. Focus on what matters, and the rest will fall into place. Eliminate mental clutter and overthinking. It's easy to get lost in the constant noise of our thoughts. Our minds are like crowded highways, full of distractions and endless loops of overthinking. It's as if the more we try to focus, the more our thoughts start to race, pulling us in every direction. Sound familiar? The thing is, mental clutter doesn't just slow you down. It keeps you stuck. It keeps you from being present, from making progress, and from truly focusing on what matters. But here's the truth. If you want to create lasting change in your life, if you want to make the kind of progress that excites you, you have to clear the mental clutter. You have to eliminate the noise, so you can hear what's truly important. You see, your mind is a powerful tool, but like any tool, it's only effective if you know how to use it properly. When your thoughts are scattered, it's like trying to build a house with a hammer that's missing half its part. You won't get very far. But when you clear out the mental clutter, when you focus your mind on what truly matters, you tap into your full potential. It's like giving your brain the space it needs to work at its best. And trust me, your brain can do some amazing things when you give it that space. The first step in eliminating mental clutter is recognizing what's causing it. Our minds get overwhelmed by all the little things we let in. The worries, the what-ifs, the constant stream of information. All of this adds up. And before long, we're carrying around a heavy mental load. But here's the thing. Most of that mental clutter isn't even real. It's not based on facts. It's not even useful. It's just noise that distracts us from the things that truly matter. And the longer we let it pile up, the harder it becomes to clear it away. One of the most powerful ways to clear mental clutter is by practicing mindfulness. When you practice mindfulness, you're training your mind to stay focused on the present moment. You're letting go of the past and the future, and simply being with what is. And that's when the magic happens. Because when you're fully present, you can focus on the task at hand. You can give your full attention to what matters most in that moment. And when you do that, everything shifts. You start to feel lighter, more focused, and more productive. Your mind becomes clearer, and you start making decisions with more clarity and confidence.
But it doesn't stop there. Mental clutter isn't just about the thoughts in your head. It's also about the things you're holding on to in your life. Maybe there are physical clutter and distractions in your environment. Maybe you're holding on to relationships, commitments, or obligations that no longer serve you. These things pile up in your mind too. And the more you hold on to things that don't serve your purpose, the more mental clutter you create. It's time to let go of those things. It's time to make space for what truly matters.
When you start clearing mental clutter, you'll notice that your energy starts to shift. You'll start feeling lighter, more energized, and more focused. Your mind will no longer be bogged down by unnecessary thoughts, and you'll find that you're able to give your full attention to the things that are most important. And as you make this shift, you'll start to see results. Your productivity will increase. Your ability to make decisions will improve. And most importantly, you'll start to feel more at peace. One of the most powerful ways to eliminate mental clutter is by creating routines and habits that support your mental clarity. When you have a routine in place, you don't have to think about every little decision. You already know what you need to do, and that frees up mental space. A solid morning routine, for example, can set the tone for the entire day. When you start your day with purpose and intention, you're less likely to get distracted by unnecessary thoughts or external noise. You're able to stay focused and move through your day with more ease. Another way to clear mental clutter is by taking breaks. It might sound counterintuitive, but sometimes the best way to focus is to step away for a moment. When you're constantly working or thinking about something, your mind gets tired, and that's when the clutter really starts to build up. But when you take a break, you give your brain a chance to reset. You allow yourself to breathe, to relax, and to come back with fresh eyes. That break, no matter how short, can be just what you need to clear away the mental clutter and refocus on what truly matters. And here's the thing, mental clutter doesn't just go away on its own. You have to actively work at clearing it. You have to be intentional about what you allow into your mind. That means saying no to things that drain you, to people who bring negativity, to thoughts that hold you back. It means being mindful of the information you consume and choosing to focus on things that add value to your life. It's about taking control of your mental space and making a commitment to clear away anything that doesn't serve you. Clearing mental clutter isn't a one-time thing. It's an ongoing process. Life gets busy, and the distractions will always be there. But the more you practice clearing your mind, the easier it becomes. Over time, you'll develop the ability to filter out the noise and stay focused on what matters most. Your mind will become a powerful tool that works for you, not against you. So if you're feeling overwhelmed or stuck, take a step back and ask yourself, what's cluttering up my mind right now? What thoughts, beliefs, or distractions are holding me back? And then take action. Clear out the mental clutter. Let go of what no longer serves you, and make room for what your future self will thank you for. When you eliminate the mental clutter, you'll find that your focus sharpens, your energy increases, and your results improve. It's time to create the space you need to thrive. Reflect, adjust, and keep moving forward. Life isn't always smooth sailing, and there are times when we feel like we're walking through a storm. But let me tell you this, storms don't last forever. They may test us, but they also shape us. They teach us resilience, patience, and how to keep moving forward when the world feels heavy. If you're in a place where things are tough right now, it's important to remember that growth doesn't happen in easy times. It happens when we keep pushing, when we don't quit, when we face the challenges head on. The key to progress, to real success, is found in how you respond to those tough moments. It's in your ability to reflect, adjust, and keep moving forward. So let's dive into why that matters, and how you can apply it to make lasting changes in your life. When you reflect on where you've been, it's not about beating yourself up for the mistakes you made, or the things you wish you'd done differently. It's about learning. Every mistake, every setback, is an opportunity to learn something valuable. The biggest mistake you can make is thinking that you've learned all there is to know. If you stop learning, you stop growing. Reflection is the first step to growth, because it helps you understand where you've been, what worked, and what didn't. If you've faced challenges or hit a wall, look at that experience closely. What can you learn from it? What can you take away that will help you grow? Reflection isn't about regret. It's about finding the lessons hidden within the tough moments. Now, once you've reflected and learned from the past, it's time to adjust. And adjusting doesn't mean giving up on your goals or dreams. It doesn't mean that you've failed or that you need to throw everything out the window. What it means is that you're willing to tweak your approach. You're willing to do things differently. If what you've been doing isn't working, think about it like this. If you're driving somewhere and you hit a detour, do you just stop? Do you throw your hands up and say, well, I guess I'm not going to get there? No, you don't. You adjust. You find another way. You keep your destination in mind, but you're flexible enough to take a different route. In life, the same principle applies. You don't have to stick to a rigid path if it's not taking you where you want to go. If things aren't working the way you thought they would, adjust. Maybe you need to change your strategy, your mindset, or even the people you surround yourself with. The road to success isn't a straight line. It's filled with detours, twists, and turns. And that's okay. In fact, that's how it's supposed to be. The beauty of life lies in the way we adapt and grow through each experience. So when life throws you a curveball, instead of panicking or giving up, take a moment to adjust your approach. Find a better way, a smarter way, and keep moving forward. The most important part of this process, though, is that you never stop moving. No matter how tough things get, no matter how many setbacks you face, you have to keep moving forward. Success isn't about avoiding failure. It's about persevering through it. It's about being relentless in your pursuit of your goals, no matter how many times you get knocked down. The truth is, everyone who has ever achieved something meaningful has had to fight through failure. They've had to face challenges that seemed impossible at the time. But they didn't give up. They didn't stop. They reflected on what went wrong, adjusted their approach, and then they kept moving. That's how you build resilience. That's how you turn setbacks into comebacks. And it's not always about giant leaps forward, either. Sometimes moving forward means taking small steps every single day. It's about doing what you can, even when you don't feel like it. Maybe you're not in the place you want to be right now, but that doesn't mean you stop. It just means that you take the next step, no matter how small it may seem. Even if all you can do today is take one tiny step in the right direction. That's progress. That's momentum. And over time, those small steps add up to big changes. In the process of adjusting and moving forward, you'll also learn how important it is to have a clear vision of where you're going. If you're always adjusting but don't have a destination in mind, you'll just be wandering. You need to be clear about your goals. You need to know why you're pushing forward. Why does it matter? What's the bigger picture? When you know your why, it becomes easier to keep moving. Even when things get hard, the why's your anchor. It gives you the strength to keep going, even when the path is tough. But here's the thing. There will be moments where you feel like giving up. There will be moments where you want to quit, where the road seems too long and too hard. That's when the true test of your character comes in. The most successful people aren't the ones who have it all figured out from the start. They're the ones who refuse to quit. No matter what, they know that success isn't a matter of if. It's a matter of when. And the key to getting there is to keep moving, to keep making those adjustments, and to keep reflecting on what's working and what's not. Every step you take forward is a victory. Reflecting, adjusting, and moving forward is the blueprint for success. It's not about avoiding mistakes. It's about learning from them. It's not about getting it right the first time. It's about being willing to try again and again and again until you get it right. Life isn't about perfection. It's about progress. The moment you stop moving forward is the moment you stop growing. And that's a place you don't want to be. You've got too much potential, too many dreams, and too much greatness within you to let setbacks keep you from moving forward. Keep reflecting, keep adjusting, and keep moving. Every step you take brings you closer to the life you're meant to live. So no matter where you are right now, no matter what you're facing, remember this: you are not stuck.
You are not defeated. You are just in the process of reflecting, adjusting, and moving forward. And that process will take you to incredible places. Keep going. Keep moving. Your future self will thank you for it.